I grew up doing construction, and I got into a motorcycle accident. I was hit by a semi truck. That was the end of my construction, career. But I ended up having open heart bypass. I mean, I could go on for about an hour telling you everything that I went through, and you'd be amazed. It's surprising I'm sitting here talking to you. I mean, doctors told my parents and family, multiple times to say your goodbyes.
Come on, get over here.
Went over to the machine shop there at the community college and got interested in it, and the rest is history. I got into machining. I got a job here at TK Machine, my second quarter in machining. He's working in the afternoons.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Welcome to OC. Do they like driving in the truck?
Oh, yeah.
One of the things the previous owner asked me when he interviewed me is, like, what do you want to do in 5 years? Well, and I just told him, I was like, well, hopefully not this, because I didn't want to be in the same place I was 5 years from now. I wanted to, grow and be doing more. So I ended up going back to school for mechanical engineering, because every time we get mechanical engineers all the time in on projects, that we're working on, and I was always very intrigued with what they had going on and the whys. Got back into the machining side of it, and then I started my own business doing like mechanical design, blueprints, stuff like that. And I was doing that for TK Machine for a while. And then they wanted me to come on full time doing that, as well as fixture design and all that. Came back and then helped manage the shop. Okay. Then the owner started talking about retiring. So I ended up coming back here and managing the place for about a year and a half before we finally had everything worked out, the paperwork done for me to buy the place. And then I officially took over here July 1st of 2021. I actually have a completely new crew from when I started here. I try to get in here at 7:30, somewhere right in there. My guys get in here at 8. I usually get out of here 7, 8 o'clock-ish at night, Monday through Friday. Then I'm usually here Saturday and Sunday, usually probably 5 to 8 hours Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, we were pretty light on work end of November, early December. We were down to about a week and a half, and I was, I don't normally have to call customers and see if they have work for us. I was on the phone every day calling and trying to dig up more work. Started thinking about some of the opportunities that have come up in the past, but they ended when the companies found out we didn't have quality certifications, such as AS9100.
Hey, Paul.
Jereme.
With switching over to ProShop in the last year, I figured who better to help us do the AS9100 than you guys. I knew you had experience in it, and you had the module already set up for it.
When you reached out to me first and asked about AS9100, I asked a little bit about your business and your shop, and you told me an interesting story about how you ended up with ProShop in the first place.
We were using an ERP system that we'd been using for about 8 years, and I knew at the time when I took over I wanted to improve what we were doing for scheduling, We were using Excel spreadsheets. That's what the previous owners did. And the ERP system that we had a scheduling module in it, but the previous owners didn't know how it worked. I was unsure of how it worked. I'd even tried trainings with the previous company on how it worked, and I couldn't get it figured out. So I reached out to them and to get some kind of support or help on figuring that out. And they referred me to one of their implementation specialists or whatever, and gave me a quote for about $5,000 to do that. And I wasn't too pleased with that. With having spent all that money over the years, you know, I would think that they would show us how it worked, since it's something that we'd already purchased. And we had a couple back and forth emails, and they found out that I had bought the company from the previous owners, even though we'd kept the same name and everything. But my email signature switched from TK Machine Co. Corporation to TK Machine LLC. And once they found that out, that I'd bought the place, then they wanted me to rebuy the software. And that was kind of the last straw for me.
That's so crazy.
And then this...
Yeah, when you said, no, I'm not rebuying it.
Yeah, I told them I wasn't paying any more money. And then they got their lawyer involved and sent me a cease and desist letter, and wanted me to agree to them coming into the shop and auditing, making sure we weren't using the software for the next year or so. And that just wasn't going to happen. So I had already been looking at other options for the scheduling before, just so that I knew what my options were. And so once I got that cease and desist letter, that was it was, you know, they had made my decision for me at that point. ProShop was the one that we were looking at. If we were going to have to switch, then ProShop was the one. So
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. Made it.
Yeah. How was the drive over?
Good, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a problem.
Hello.
Wasn't much of a
I'm
view.
Kelly.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yes. Hi, Juan.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm gonna ask a lot of questions just to get information.
Okay.
So
It'd get wrapped, and that part would be labeled on the wrapping, and then the blueprint would go in there with the packing slip and other stuff. Has 2 axes. It also has live tooling and a y-axis.
All that coolant and all this oils and all that can make the stickers come off.
Mhm.
So if this gets rubbed off, how else would you identify this tool?
I didn't.
no one.
Three-point
Right.
stance to not fall over.
I'll never
So what is the
forget my
scoreboard, Jereme and Metre?
the comments we make to each other. I made some joke to her. I don't remember what it was one day. And so she comes over there and just writes Mallory, Jereme, and Jereme won.
Right up to the top. All right there, and all along the wall. So that pipey stuff back there. So I'm almost thinking like 1, 2, 3, 4.
What do you think about making signs like they were doing for sort of labeling, and then they also did the same thing on their racking. For raw materials and stuff, they had the like rack shelf numbers and ProShop corresponded to. May I have your attention, please? Please join us for a complimentary lunch and training session in the employee lounge. Sponsored by ProShop. Yeah, it didn't work. No one's moving.
It's not lunchtime yet. They're like, no, we gotta work.
I gotta work.
I'm just aware of what's going on with the company in terms of wanting to have like a formal quality management system, which is a mouthful, or a QMS, and getting audited, and 9100 and aerospace and all of that. Have you heard any of these words?
Yeah.
Big mysterious words floating around?
Yeah.
You know why we're doing that? It's not a trick question I'm asking.
No.
So I'm going to tell you if you don't. To make parts that go on airplanes, you have to have this piece of paper that says you have a quality system that meets all these requirements. And so what we're here to do today is to do a little bit of training and do like a walkthrough to see if there's anything specifically here we needed to correct or tweak. So to get the certification, we go through a couple audits, and the one audit that matters is when an auditor will come here and he's just going to ask to see records of what we've been doing to make sure that we're meeting all of these requirements.
Hey, Jeremy, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It seems like spring is almost here in the Northwest, but then it takes it away from us. So might be similar with you as well.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to check in. It's been a few weeks since we were there filming. I wanted to just check in, see how the process has been going for getting ready for this stage 1 audit that's coming up.
Yeah. 2 days out here. So he'll be here soon.
Yes, before you know it. Yeah, and how's it been going?
Good. We're getting things taken care of that Michael and Kelly have been pointing out.
Yeah.
Getting trainings, up to date, and calibrations, all that stuff. So
Right.
It's going smooth. So
Yeah. Does it feel like it's a lot of work to prepare for it? Or is it stuff you would be inclined to have done and cleaned up anyway?
stuff that I've wanted to have cleaned up and done anyways, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, okay, it's got to be done now. So get it done.
Kind of holding your feet to the fire to
Yeah.
do some of the things you want to do anyway.
Yeah.
Are you feeling confident about the audit? Are you feeling a little anxious? Some of each?
No, I feel pretty confident about it. It seems pretty straightforward,
Right.
A lot of the stuff is stuff that we've done over the years, but it's just never been documented. So now we're documenting it, doing the processes properly.
Yeah.
So
Very good. Yeah, and I can tell just from getting to know you a bit better and even seeing into your system, you like to have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted and
yeah,
the way you like it. So
yeah, I'm a little OCD sometimes. So
excellent. Have you had any client interactions telling them this is coming, or prospects that you've been working with? Anything on the sort of sales side?
oh yeah, actually I had to reschedule a client coming in here to tour the shop and kind of see how we do things. We're going to be doing that Friday, and so they wanted to come in on Wednesday.
Okay.
No,
Right.
I'm going to be busy.
Got my
So-
stage 1 AS audit.
So click into your audit itself, and then there's a section where it says supporting documentation. It's a gray tab up there towards the top.
Okay, let's see what that looks like then.
That was my thought, is like, how do you get from you see the gap, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you go from, here's something I discussed that sounds like it needs actions, to the previous review of action items without going back through every one of these?
Right.
It doesn't draw it forward. You'd have to go back and look at everything you've done.
But you actually have to go in and look at it. Like it's going, when you do the next item, if I click check, it brings up.
No. I mean, when you click number 7, which is, you're looking at all previous action items,
okay.
right?
Gotcha.
They're not in there. So when you do that number 7 every 90 days, do you look back through all of these? Otherwise, if there was a note in there that needs action, how do you know?
No, I get you. And the really nice thing about ProShop is like they really do listen to their customers, and
Well, that's
Yeah.
that piece
But yeah.
that we're talking about.
Yeah.
You got to be able to do that.
So
what's his title then?
he's the shop manager,
Right.
I think.
I think that's pretty funny.
I don't know. I asked him like, "What do we call you now? Shop manager, shop foreman?" He's like, I don't know."
Manufacturing manager is what I have written down from last
Perfect. I'll
time.
page the manufacturing manager in here and see if he comes.
I'm like, who the fuck is that? Right. Like, who's he paging? Calibrated and verified, or both, at specified intervals or prior to use.
Okay. So we're good then. Okay.
Or prior to use.
Anybody else running a good job? You said,
Juan's running the job back.
oh, he's got you on the way. Juan, are you signed off to operate?
I was, when he told me I was this morning, but it does appear that he forgot to check in there.
It's twofold, right? You should have done it.
Right, no,
and he
yeah.
should have checked.
And I get on and ask him, like, why are we, if I see something and I go to ship out a part and like 3 ops back, it's not checked off. I'm like, okay, so you failed, you failed, you failed.
We both failed on this one.
Okay, as long as you two acknowledge it, I'm just gonna keep writing it. So you caught it really quick though. What's the dimensions on it? What should it be?
8 inches,
What's the diameter of the material?
10 inches,
Is that 8 inches ready to go?
just about.
Go ahead. I'll let you get it ready. So, when I see something red, like the machine Derek's running over here. Hold on. I get the head shake. I'll be recommending certification, initial certification. So I will be reporting this to PRI as soon as we get the audit report done. I have 14 days to have the audit report done. I'll probably have this in their hands by late tomorrow afternoon. Until you get your NCRs closed, they will not issue a cert. But you've completed the process, so that's it.
Okay,
Congratulations.
thank you.
All you got to do now is get some non-conformances closed out, bounce them back and forth to you and I will get them closed out, and get this through technical review, and you should have a cert shortly after that.
Perfect.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you. I went out there and gave Derek shit. Damn it, Derek. He's like, oh, yeah, SRL now. I'm like, yeah. Like, that's it.
Well, you only had 3 non-conformances, and just make sure you keep working on those things you need to work on. Otherwise, it looks good.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Thank you too.
So just to kind of catch people up, it's now been a few weeks since Keith did his stage 2 audit. Just a formality at this point until the cert arrives. Yeah, I'd love for you if you'd share a little bit about that.
Like looking back on it now I think it's went very, very smoothly, and it is not as much work for me having you guys help us implement it as I was imagining.
Yeah.
Because you guys got this thing all figured out.
But the anticipation was worse than the reality.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So if you had to do this from scratch, what do you think the process would have been like?
Honestly, I probably would have given up on it.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wouldn't have the time. That's hiring somebody full time to just sit and do that.
So as we wrap this up, I've really enjoyed getting to know you better. I, have just such respect for people like yourself that jump in with both feet to, shop ownership, which I'll say forever is the hardest job in the world. What has it been like working with our team through this? Besides, it was easier than you thought.
It's been great ever since we got on with ProShop. I feel like we've had the attention, I guess, that has been needed to be successful. It's not very often that you do find companies that like care about your success.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like you guys are part of our team.
Mm.
That's how I feel.
That's a nice sentiment. Thank you.
Yeah, I've got maybe one or two companies out of all the companies that we deal with where we feel like there's a true partnership there, and you know, that other company is invested in our success as well, and I feel that way with you guys for sure.
Do you feel like you will have it'll be an important part of your growth in the future? Is those opportunities?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's definitely going to open a lot of doors for us and especially allow us to be more diversified than what we are right now.
All right, Jereme. Well, thank you so much for doing this whole project with me. I know it was extra work for you to do these videos and have us come visit, and but it's been a true honor and a pleasure to get to know you. Yeah, stay in touch. I wish you all the success in the world, and look forward to watching you grow in the future.
Yeah, appreciate it. It was definitely worth all the work for sure. So,
all right, thanks, man. Take care.
Thanks.